Recently went on a 5-night cruise with Virgin Voyages from the port of Miami. The goal of this cruise was slightly different. We wanted to see if we could work from a Virgin Voyages. I often work out of Miami, so I wanted to see if we could work and have fun. Why? Because everything's laid off for you. So it might be the best remote office in the world. But we could only enjoy this if we worked out how not to party too hard, how not to drink, and still get up for work. Is that even possible? Would the internet be good enough? Is it true that shorter cruises out of Miami are even more party-centric? Would my colleagues think that I was pulling a scam? Well, on that last question, I actually booked it as holiday, just in case we couldn't make it work. I wasn't on an experiment after all. So we departed from Heathrow on Virgin Atlantic. Now, this was a little bit of a fall from grace. After 15 years of being a Virgin Atlantic Gold member, that sounds like an Austin Powers movie, Virgin had messed up their side of the admin, and my account had been downgraded just to a normal status, to what I think they call Virgin Red. No perks, no checking in and upper, no lounge, no free upgrade to the exit row. I had also given my premium seat to Louise and taken her economy ticket. But this was in itself a good experiment to check out the Virgin Atlantic A350 Neo in economy, in the back of the back of the back. I have a full video on that coming up, so I won't bore you with that now. Let's just say legroom is limited when you're 6 foot. Keeping on brand, we went to the New York City Virgin Hotel and flew down to Miami the next day. We like doing this because it's a great way to break up the journey, enjoy a night in Manhattan, and change it up a bit. The Virgin Hotel in New York City is awesome. I also have a full review of that coming up soon, so make sure you subscribe to get both of those videos. We arrived in Miami at around 11 a.m, got an Uber to the port and dropped our bags. Seamless. But remember, like I say in a lot of my videos and other people's videos, you cannot get on the boat before your check-in time, and the space in the terminal is limited and only open to your check-in 20 minutes before your allotted time. I've done a complete video on what to do in Miami on embarkation days, but don't click away to that yet. Watch it after this, don't be naughty. This time, we went to the Biscay Shopping Centre, got some margaritas. We had a Splash of Romance package that allows you to embark after the rock stars, which is awesome. Let me know in the comments if you would like a full breakdown of the Splash of Romance and whether we thought it was worth it. Embarkation was smooth as ever with Virgin Voyages, especially for Miami. We love the happenings car squeaking onto the ship. We have a no elevator policy just because of all the food that's included, and it's so tempting, so the least we can do is go up and down the stairs. There are so many cabin tours, especially on Virgin Voyages, that I will just run around the cabin quickly. This is a standard balcony cabin. We got this as an upgrade from the Lock It In Insider rate, which we got for £700, and this upgrade cost us an extra £300. So all in all, for an experiment of seeing whether we could work from a ship, this whole cruise cost us £1,000. But would it work? I felt temptation calling already with the gift of the free cat champagne in our room. We love the dock at the aft or the rear of the ship, so we headed there for an amazing Greek themed food. We had the squid skewers, the polenta skewers, and the chicken wings. Absolutely delicious and a great way to kick off a Virgin voyage. I love the little details on Virgin's beautiful lady ships, like this giant champagne cork stop. I mean, slightly weird, but kind of awesome. Then all too quickly, it was time for the sail away party. We love the sail away parties on Virgin. They are so much fun. One thing we noticed, that out of Miami, the vibe was even more party than normal. It seemed that all the sailors were ready to go. Maybe the rumors are true. Maybe out of Miami, it is more party-centric. Louise had booked in to have a pedicure straight after the sail away party, so I enjoyed the hammock and watched Miami slip away. If you haven't experienced the Virgin Hammock and you're wondering what is all the hype, let me tell you, it's as good as everyone says. Make sure you get a cabin with a hammock, not one of those weird little kind of wicker seat things. Everybody complains about those. For our first night, we had booked into the wake. This is Virgin's steak and seafood restaurant that overlooks the wake at the rear of the ship. I love it, but it's actually Louise's least favourite. I had the lettuce salad and the bone marrow, and Louise had the crab starter. For mains, we both had the fillet and sides. It was, for me, as delicious as ever. Next day was the start of the experiment, working from the ship. We needed to start work at 5 a.m. each day. Okay, morning, it's day one of our little experiment to see whether or not we can work on Virgin Voyages as the cringeworthy word of digital nomad. Well, we got up, went to the gym, did our kind of normal morning routine at 5 a.m. Got some of the galley coffee, which is pretty gritty, I've got to be honest. But we're giving this a go. I've got to jump onto a load of calls now. Last night we went to the wake, had a steak. We were super jet lagged, so we were going to do a pajama party, we were going to do all those kind of things, but the goal of this is actually to see whether or not we can, you know, the goal is to see whether or not we can actually kind of work as a digital nomad, do that thing, be on a different time zone and work on that kind of thing. And it's kind of fun doing it on a Virgin Voyages, so that's why we're doing this. I've probably explained all that already. Jet lag's definitely getting to me, but so we're getting there, day one. I'll let you know how it goes. The standard internet, which is free, is not good enough for video calls or Slack. So we had to pay for internet. I got the work from C and Louise got the premium package. We honestly didn't notice any difference in the speed between the two packages, and that's probably a good hack and tip for you guys, that if you're looking at the two packages, I don't think there's any difference. If you have seen a difference, please let me know in the comments below. I am interested because we are planning to work again from a Virgin Voyage. Now, these are the prices at the time of sailing. What do you think of these prices? Let me know in the comments. Is it too much? Is it a good price? You know, how does this vary to other cruises? Okay, a little hack for you guys. You can purchase just one premium or one work from sea package. When you log in from another device, it will tell you need to pay an additional $90 for the second device. However, there is a smaller button which isn't highlighted underneath that offers to log out the device you're not on and logs the device you are on onto the internet, if that makes sense at all. We did this, it wasn't really that much of a hassle. On previous Virgin Voyages, Louise has actually purchased both packages, like it says, you know, the $90, but it didn't even recognize the second device. And after we went down to Sailor Services, they actually said to us, oh yeah, you just need to log on and log off again. And we were like, well, hang on, we bought a second package. But so the Sailor Service didn't even know how to make it work. So my advice is don't fall for buying the second package. It probably won't work and you don't really need to do it. We like to work from the Loose Canon, which can be found through the social club on deck 7. There is never anyone there. It's a great place to work, as no one else is dumb enough to try and work from a Virgin Voyage. I think, you know, it's party, it isn't work. I then had to grab some content from my other channel, shameless plug, link in the description to my other channel where we post about work and overcoming adversity. By 1200, everyone in the UK has finished, so we can space out our work over the afternoon. We went to see the Charmers walk-in show at SIP on deck 7. This was an amazing show with Magic Mike, who was just brilliant. We got on really well with him. We actually had some crossover with connections and stuff. And I've done a short little video in one of the YouTube shorts about Magic Mike. It might be on this channel or my other channel, but awesome guy. And yeah, big shout out to Magic Mike. He invited us to a secret show, and more on that in a minute if you're interested about secret shows.
How about you? Yeah. Cool. Tad, right? Yes. Cool. Listen, Stephen, come here.
Back to our cabin, and the splash of romance drinks had been dropped off, and they were actually really tasty. We then went to get tattoos at Squid Ink. I have to be honest, this is the first time my office has ever had a tattoo parlour. Quick game of chess, and then on to the splash of romance party on the perch. After the splash of romance party, we went to a secret show with the Charmer, which we were invited to. This is us going through the crew quarters before they take your phones off you because you're not allowed to film. They're going to take our phones off us. Yeah, they're taking our phones off us now, so we've got to go. You having a nice cruise so far? We're just walking the stairs. Yeah? What have we just done?
Shh, you're not meant to talk about that.
No, we went to the book club.
Oh yeah, Bible study.
Bible study, which was brilliant with the Charmer. Charmer leads a very lovely Bible study group. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that. He leads a very good book club, doesn't he, Louise?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Louise got picked to actually read the book in the secret crew bar that you're not allowed to talk about, which was good, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
Yeah, and now we're drinking our free bottle of champagne. Oh my, cheers. Yeah. Louise loves being on the video. Here he is. What happened earlier, Louise, on the perch? What happened earlier?
Oh, someone recognised you from Instagram.
And I love it. So if you do see me, yeah, I think Louise loved it more than I did, actually. If you do see me, yeah, do come and say hi, because it makes my day. It makes Louise's day too, doesn't it, Louise?
Someone's actually watching your videos.
Yeah, you were very nice about it, actually, off camera. But now you're on the camera, you're not being so nice about it, are you?
Stop filming.
That evening, we had a meal at Test Kitchen, which we both love. Sunset, and then bed. The next day we worked again on schedule, but I forgot to film that, and to be honest, it just looks the same as working from the Loose Canon. We went to the social club to get the crack cocaine that is the nut Brittle. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that this is my Achilles heel. And that evening we went to Extra Virgin, which is Louise's favourite. We had an amazing meal. Our tip is please do the Affogato car. It is so much fun. And where else do you get to have alcohol in your dessert? I know, probably drop it in the comments. There's a million places where you can get alcohol in your dessert, but you know, for us, it's unusual. And usually one of you's got to drive, right? Our waiter was actually Italian, which made this even more fun. And he was such a cool guy with the Affogato car and gave it such a flourish. That night, it was Scarlet Night. Big shout out to the Spark at the Glam Station. The only thing we recorded of Scarlet Night was our free cheesy picture. You should do that. Look for the photo booth. We actually met some brilliant people in the queue who've now become friends. So I recommend doing that too. That's really fun. Next day and on with the grind, we were both feeling a little bit worse for wear, but so far the experiment was going okay-ish. I mean, Temptation, Scarlet Night, you know, all of those things, but you know, it was going okay. Brunch was at Razzle Dazzle, and then another tattoo. Okay, we're middle-aged and slightly tattoo addicted. Did you know that we'd had no tattoos at all before we started traveling with Virgin Voyage? So Squid Ink, Virgin Voyage, you're our downfall. I was still managing to wake up early each day. One of the things that I like to do, and I know it's a bit woo-woo, is to meditate each morning. I actually found the dock at the rear of the ship a really great place to do that. No one's there, and the sound of the wake and the engines, the propellers, and all the kind of swashing of water is really relaxing. So that's where I go and meditate at 5 in the morning. Today was Bimini. We were really excited about this because we were going to do our first ever shore excursion. Now, we don't normally do the shore things. We like to stay on the boat in days we're at the docks because we like the boat to be empty, or the ship. I keep getting told off that. We like the ship to be empty. And this excursion was actually snorkeling with sharks, and everybody raves about this. And I was so excited. I love sharks. I love sharks, right? I love them. But because of the strong currents and winds, it was actually cancelled. So we went out to check out Beach Club at Bimini for the first time. Now, the Beach Club is fun, but we just weren't in the mood. So we cruised back and had the ship pretty much to ourselves. Everybody else was at the Beach Club. So if you want a deserted ship and you're like, well, the Beach Club's basically the same as the ship, we recommend that. We got a bed at the pool. We chilled out, had a bit of a sleep, read some books, had a beer. It was one of our best days we had on the ship. What I would say by now, though, is that working from a Virgin Voyage, not going so well. That evening, we tried the Groupie. OMG, if you haven't done it and you think you're not even up for it, just try it once. We are not singers, and we're definitely not karaoke goers, but we booked the small room, got a shake for champagne, which is included in the Splash of Romance, and sang 90s Britpop. It was so much fun. I don't think we've laughed so much in ages. It was brilliant. So if you get a chance to do it, please do it. Let me know in the comments if you've done it and you like it. It was awesome. Okay, confession. I forgot to record the last couple of nights and days, but here is our last tip before we depart. There is a little hidden bar in Razzle Dazzle, and it is awesome. It's completely red. Get the popcorn cocktail, and you can have a chat and grab a moment to yourselves. It's like a deserted little bar. So if you want a kind of just a moment to yourselves in a bar, I recommend this little red bar hidden away in Razzle Dazzle. Can someone let me know if the bar is still there on Scarlet Lady's retake on Razzle Dazzle, which is, I think it's Lucky Lotus by Razzle Dazzle. So if you've been there and you've seen the bar and it's still there, Can you let me know in the comments? I'm really interested. Okay, so there's a couple of questions we've still got to answer. Was Virgin Voyage the best remote office in the world? Well, it was pretty epic, I've got to be honest with you. Working from a cruise boat in the middle of the sea is awesome. But I would say that temptation is high. And actually, you know, finding that quiet space, if the Loose Canon had been busy, it probably would have actually been difficult to work there. Was it the best place to work in the world? Yeah, I would say that working in the middle of the sea on a cruise boat was awesome. Temptation was high, and that made it difficult, if I'm, going to be honest about it. I think that overall, we managed to get work done. It was good. We never dropped internet, so we could do all the video calls. We could be in touch with the office. Would I do it again? Maybe. It's definitely a good way to spend a week, but probably not the most productive I've ever been. Could we party and work? I mean, that was one of the major questions. We knew that this was going to be a party cruise coming out of Miami, the 5-day cruise. We knew that. Could we party and work? In all honesty, no. Scarlet Night is an epic night. We met so many fun people, and why wouldn't you want to party on Scarlet Night? So the next day was a write-off for us. We did a little bit of work. It wasn't the greatest work I've ever done, and being 45 and trying to work with a hangover, pretty difficult. So I would say no. We couldn't work and party at the same time. So that was a fail. Was the internet good enough? I would say the internet is actually amazing. Like I said at the beginning, I don't think there's much difference between the premium and work from sea package, but the internet is good enough to work from the ship. You can do video calls, you can do all of that. It's whether you're willing to spend the $120 or $200 that those packages cost. For us, I think it was worth it. It was worth doing the experiment. But yes, overall, my question, is the internet good enough? Yes, the internet is good enough to work from sea. Are the Miami shorter cruises more party-centric? The answer to that is a simple yes. I would say people are on it. On the longer cruises we've done, the deck spaces are much clearer. People are a bit more chilled out. It doesn't feel like everybody needs to do everything the whole time and start drinking at 9 a.m. This was people coming for basically a long weekend, that long 5-day break, and going hard, and why not? So I would say if you're looking for a more chilled out cruise, do one of the longer ones. Do one of the ones from Puerto Rico, or do one of the ones across the Atlantic. That is a lot more chilled out. People tend not to try and do every single thing and cram everything in. The deck space isn't as busy. The one we did over Christmas from Puerto Rico the ship had, was busier in terms of the capacity was more full. But it felt less busy, if that makes sense. This cruise wasn't as full in terms of the boat, but it felt busier. And I think that is the actual key to these shorter cruises. They feel busier. The deck spaces are busy. People are trying to maximize every single minute they're on the boat, trying to get as much sun, trying to do as many of the things as they can. The parties are busy. Everything is busy. So if you're going for that party vibe, Miami shorter cruises are definitely the ones to go for. If you're not, I might avoid it. Okay, last one. Did my colleagues feel like I was pulling a fast one? Well, to caveat that, as I said at the beginning, I did book it as holiday. Did they think that I was pulling a fast one? Probably. Who wouldn't if you see somebody working from a ship? But we did get all the video calls done. We did work, and, overall, I think, work success, but my colleagues probably did think I was pulling a fast one. Stay tuned for the next one. If you like this, if you like the crazy wanderings and these weird experiments, please do subscribe. Please do check out my other videos. And if you do one thing and you know somebody else who's going to try and work from a ship, maybe send them this video and share it to them. Thanks so much. See you on the next one.